10 types of blessings and signs of those favored by heaven and earth. Deliverance from calamity. Hello everyone. Welcome to Mind Podcast, Buddhism. Have you ever wondered, in the ever-changing current of life, why some people grow ever more perceptive and benevolent as they age, serene like white clouds drifting across the sky, while others endure a lifetime of hardship and still end up empty-handed, without kin or a single peaceful smile? Is it ordained by heaven? Or is it the result of the virtuous or contrary deeds we sowed in countless past lives? The Buddha taught, to know the causes of past lives, look at the results in this life. To know the results of future lives, look at the causes in the present. All phenomena arise from conditions and causes. Nothing is random, and no one is truly fortunate without having once sown seeds of goodness. Some blessings cannot be seen with the eyes, and some protections remain unseen, yet ever present. Yet amid the churning sea of existence, some seem always to emerge unscathed from calamity, turning disaster into fortune. Some find help in the midst of suffering, discover a path through every dead end. Others live gently and joyfully, neither striving nor grasping, yet their blessings are abundant. They do not compete, yet they never truly lose. They are not wealthy or prominent, yet everywhere they go they are loved and respected. These are the signs of those richly blessed, not only in this life, but as the culmination of countless lifetimes of kind and compassionate living. Blessings do not spring from material wealth. They arise from the way one lives with the world, with others, with oneself, and with the triple gem. A truly blessed person is not one who never faces hardship, but one who, when disaster strikes, is rescued, when lost, is guided by light, and amid raging waves retains a calm heart like a morning lake. And if you find that you have not yet experienced these things, do not be disheartened, for blessings can be sown, virtue can be cultivated, karma can be transformed, and life can change. All you need is a strong aspiration and a genuinely good heart. The first sign, a person who always emerges unscathed from calamity. Blessings silently shield one in a world of uncertainty. Some gifts cannot be seen with the eyes, but are felt as a vibration in the heart. Some appear fragile and weak amid life's currents, yet they endure storms with unyielding courage. Some, in the face of peril, return safely under silent protection. The Buddha taught, merit and demerit follow like a shadow follows the form. You reap what you sow. Misfortune does not arrive by chance, nor is escape from it a blessing that falls unbidden from the sky. It is the fruit of good karma, the light of seeds sown in past lives or through unnoticed acts of kindness in this one. Peace does not mean the absence of waves, but that when storms come, we are not swept away. Some walk the busy streets on a tightrope, one misstep from disaster. Others live simply, without much treasure, yet their hearts are at peace, their homes secure, their lives protected. Why? Because they avoid creating evil karma, live with kindness, share goodness, dedicate merit, and above all keep their hearts pure. Those who refrain from taking life enjoy long lives with fewer ailments and only minor mishaps. Those who give freely accumulate blessings and find help in times of crisis. Those who recite the Buddha's name and mantras receive the power of the triple gem, transforming great calamities into minor ones, and minor ones into nothing. A person with the heart to save oneself harbors no resentment. When torrents rise, sometimes heaven and earth themselves shift the path. If you have ever miraculously escaped disaster, if you have almost faced a great calamity yet survived, if you have sensed an invisible guardianship, do not call it luck. Believe that your blessings have begun to blossom. But if you have not yet experienced this, do not be discouraged. Blessings can be sown from today onward. Begin with the smallest action. Let go of attachments. Observe moral precepts. Refrain from harming living beings. Speak with loving words. Give alms and dedicate merit. Each act of kindness reaches across the Dharma realm, and one day a tiny seed will bloom into a lotus. The second sign, a person who always finds a way out of difficulty. Blessings open the doors of favorable conditions. Life itself is a series of ups and downs. Sometimes it flows as calmly as a stream. Sometimes the wind blows fiercely across one's path. No one in this impermanent world can avoid encountering hardship or impasse. Some sink deeper the more they struggle, while others pass through with ease, as if supported by an unseen hand. The Buddha taught, in suffering, the wise will see the light. The foolish will continue to flounder in darkness. No one can avoid all suffering, but some always have an escape. Sometimes a guiding word, sometimes an unexpected opportunity, sometimes a virtuous friend appearing at the right moment. This is not coincidence. It is a blessing, the result of benevolent causes and conditions that the person has quietly cultivated. The third sign, a person who has many good friends and noble supporters in life. There is a kind of wealth that cannot be measured by money or counted by numbers, yet it is more precious than all else. Sincere friends and benefactors who aid one's path. Some drift with the currents of life, yet always have loyal companions by their side. Some stand ready to offer support. Some quietly open doors so they can move forward. They are never alone because they once lived with integrity. The Buddha taught, good friendship is like finding a kindred heart, like a lamp in the dark. Meeting virtuous friends is a rare and precious cause and condition. A person blessed with many good friends and helpers is not so because they flatter or because they are wealthy, but because they once sowed seeds of kindness in their conduct, knew how to cherish relationships, and lived without harming others. The fourth sign, a person whose joy and inner peace radiate from the heart. Some appear to possess little, yet they always wear a smile, speak warmly, meet others with gentle eyes, and walk serenely. They do not deny hardship, yet they do not let suffering master them. In a world full of upheaval, such a person is like a lotus in bloom, spreading a fragrance of peace for all humanity. The Buddha taught, when the mind is pure, the world appears pure. One whose heart is at peace will no longer be burdened by external circumstances. True joy does not come from money, fame, or anything measurable. It comes from dwelling in the present, from a heart that knows sufficiency, and from gratitude for what we already have. Sign 5. A person with a tolerant and generous heart, a vast sky within. In a world full of turbulence, the one who preserves tolerance holds an entire sky of tranquility amid storms and hardships. This is not the mark of weakness, but of the strongest, for they dare to forgive, to let go, and to open their heart, offering others a chance to turn back. The Buddha taught, repay hatred with hatred, and hatred will only multiply. Repay hatred with virtue, and hatred will vanish. A tolerant person carries no anger or grudge in their heart. They understand that forgiveness is not about absolving the other, but about releasing oneself, shedding burdens of the heart to walk more lightly on life's journey. Wherever they go, the tolerant feel light, and whoever they meet feels at ease. They need not speak loudly or argue. They respond with silence, soothe with gentle eyes, and dissolve all opposition with a magnanimous spirit. The narrow-minded, though they may live in grand houses, feel confined. The broad-hearted, though they dwell in humble huts, are free as the wind. Tolerance is the bridge that spans hatred, the light that guides through the long night of resentment. If you have been hurt, learn to forgive, not to ease the other, but to free yourself. If you have caused suffering, know how to apologize sincerely, for heartfelt words can untangle bonds of enmity woven over many lifetimes. Do not sow grudges. Choose instead to sow blessings. The broader your heart, the deeper your blessings. The larger your heart, the more the heavens and earth will cherish you. Sign 6. A person who brings luck to others, blessings radiating from the heart. Some people seem to carry light wherever they go. In their presence, misfortune turns to fortune, the suffering are rescued, and difficulties become easy. Others call them someone's good luck. From the perspective of the Dharma, this is the manifestation of blessings spreading outward, a special merit that not only benefits oneself, but also refreshes all who come into contact. The Buddha taught that one who cultivates virtuous conduct does not only protect themselves, but also upholds those around them. A person who brings luck to others does so not through charms or spells, but through an energy field built from a benevolent heart, righteous deeds, kind words, and pure intentions. Though invisible, these forces profoundly shape the lives and circumstances of everyone they encounter. Such a person's good will overpowers all negativity, greed, anger, and delusion fade before their kindness. They speak no harmful words, seek no selfish gain, and never lay heavy burdens on others. They are like the sun, shining indiscriminately on all. Those who stand near them feel warmth. Those who work with them find smooth paths. Those who befriend them discover life transformed. They give without seeking recognition, yet gratitude follows them everywhere. Living simply, yet with a heart as vast as the sky, they think of others before themselves. To become someone who brings good fortune, begin with a pure mind. To bless your loved ones, live like a lamp, not dazzling, but enough to show the way. To sow good causes in the world, use compassion to touch one person at a time. A smile, an act of kindness, a word of peace, each is a blessing to the world. A life lived without harming or oppressing anyone, always ready to help, is itself a rare gift on earth. If someone has ever told you, "Since I met you, my life has improved," rejoice, for you have begun to sow light in this world. If you have not yet heard such words, do not despair. You can start today by living more slowly, more kindly, more compassionately, and viewing others with love instead of judgment. Sign 7. A person whose children are well-behaved, filial, and accomplished, blessings transmitted through the bloodline. In the vast sea of life, there is a quiet, humble joy that many dream of. Children who grow up kind, respectful, and worthy. Some parents, though not especially successful in worldly terms, light up with pride when they speak of their children, as if those children are the greatest blessing of their lives. The Buddha taught that when parents create blessings, their descendants benefit. Well-mannered, capable children are the fruit of parents who live virtuously, practice kindness, and accumulate merit across lifetimes. One may wonder, how can a poor family produce outstanding children? Because blessings do not reside in grand homes, but in the roots of the heart and the law of cause and effect. Remarkable children are not born of chance, but of parents who sow the right seeds, living gently, avoiding wrongdoing, refraining from taking life, guarding chastity, speaking truthfully, practicing charity, and sharing with others when they can. By upholding the Buddha's teachings, living humbly and reaping what they sow, parents extend their merit into the next generation. A child can be born into poverty, but nurtured in love and moral guidance to become a decent person. To raise children of virtue, first be someone worthy of imitation. To inspire filial piety, parents must live in a way that commands respect. To ensure a child's success, cultivate blessings and set an example with your smallest actions. Do not merely leave money behind, leave wisdom and compassion. Do not only pray for exam success, pray that your child lives righteously. Do not merely focus on academic achievement, cultivate their character and hearts. When parents are blessed, children are at ease. When parents avoid wrongdoing, children avoid disaster. When parents live kindly, children walk a stable path. This is no miracle. It is the fair and wondrous working of karma. Sign 8. A person with a benevolent, amiable appearance born of the heart, blessings created by the heart. Some people, upon first meeting, immediately inspire goodwill, gentle eyes, a bright countenance, soothing words, and a calm step like a soft breeze. They need no adornments or splendid attire. Their mere presence comforts others. The Buddha taught, form arises from the heart. The world conforms to the mind. As the mind is, so the appearance will be. A kindly visage and an aura of blessing are not solely hereditary. They are the result of countless virtuous deeds sown across lifetimes. A benevolent appearance is not just genetic luck. It results from countless moments of restraining anger, from words that do not wound, from acts free of selfish calculation, and from years of living with integrity and generosity. A beautiful heart gradually expresses itself in one's bearing. A deeper gaze, a gentler smile, a warmer voice, and lighter steps. Each gesture infused with peace. Conversely, those steeped in anger and harsh speech often bear a chilling gaze and a somber countenance that unsettles others. To cultivate a gentle appearance, live kindly. To earn others' affection, speak words that soothe. To transform your outward form, refine your heart. No surgery needed, only inner practice. No makeup required, only purity of mind. One who lives mindfully, upholds goodness, and practices compassion will naturally radiate an inner beauty that no one can ignore. True beauty lies not in one's skin but in the light shining from a kind heart, not in one's shape but in a spirit that brings comfort to all, and that, above all, is the sign of one richly blessed. Sign 9. A person with unwavering spirit and courage, a heart steadfast amid the fiercest storms. On life's turbulent path, there are those who endure trial after trial without faltering. They remain unmoved by praise or blame, unshaken by hardship. Their mind is like a mountain, their heart like the ocean. Their resolve stands firm like a great tree in a deep forest. Such people need not flaunt their strength. Simply standing in silence commands respect. The Buddha taught, a mind unperturbed by praise or blame, honor or disgrace, gain or loss, pleasure or pain. That is the wise, that is true courage. It is not that they never face difficulty, but that they refuse to surrender to it. They know adversity does not destroy but refines the heart. Each time they rise after a fall, their inner power grows, their wisdom deepens, and their soul is purified. Those with true mettle live by principle. They do not sacrifice themselves for gain, nor trade integrity for reputation. They know when to yield in order to advance, and how to maintain a clear conscience amid rumor and reproach. They dwell in mindfulness, keep their heart undisturbed, endure suffering without losing faith, and never boast of their talents. Yet they become a refuge for others. The truly blessed may not be rich in wealth, but they are rich in character. Courage cannot be borrowed. It must be forged through life's relentless storms. Whoever preserves serenity in their heart is a victor. If you are struggling, do not lose heart. Each thorny path is a lesson learned. Each wound, a lesson in compassion. Each failure, a rung on the ladder of growth. To cultivate courage, live authentically, follow your own path, and resist being bent by distorted values. To build resolve, learn silence amid the storm, composure in praise, and steadfastness in chaos. Such a person moves through life with quiet confidence and exerts an immense, unseen influence. Sign 10. A person who speaks gentle, harmonious words, spreading light through everyday kindness. There is an invisible energy with tremendous power, speech. One word can lift someone from despair, another can plunge them into an abyss. In the cacophony of worldly noise, those who speak gently and harmoniously bring blessings to themselves and others. The Buddha taught, a kind word is like a lotus blooming on the water, soothing even the driest hearts. People who habitually speak with gentleness do not do so because they never face conflict, but because they have learned to transform suffering into compassion. They treat their words like a precious lotus, fragrant and beautiful, yet without boasting. Those who choose gentle speech understand the value of calm. They do not judge or speak to wound. When conflict arises, they seek to soothe rather than inflame. Harmonious words harm no one, yet have the power to transform hearts. By guarding our speech, we also guard our blessings. In contrast, harsh words, even if justified, win no true respect. Sharp speech cuts deep. Those who wield harshness to overpower ultimately lose in the hearts of others. If you wish to be loved, speak kindly. If you wish to be respected, speak truthfully without arrogance. If you wish to preserve your blessings, keep your speech pure. Gentle speech is a form of spiritual practice not everyone masters, but anyone willing to learn and listen to their own heart can succeed. The truly blessed know when to remain silent, when to speak truthfully, and when to speak with a pure heart. In a world rife with conflict, a single gentle word can be a rescue amid harshness. A kind word builds bridges of love. Practice gentle speech not only so others can hear you, but so your own heart may grow light. For every compassionate word sown becomes a seed of kindness for yourself and all the world. Blessings are not luck falling from the sky, but the fruit of a life lived in virtue. Reviewing these 10 signs of the richly blessed, we see that blessings do not reside in amassed wealth, but in the way one lives, from words and deeds to thoughts. Blessings are not bestowed by fate, but achieved step by step, moment by moment, through mindful action. They are the blossoms of countless seeds of goodness quietly sown in life. unconditional compassion, boundless loving kindness, steadfast virtue in silence, patience unseen by others, and gratitude for every small moment in the world. Those rich in blessings are not superior to others by what they possess, but by what they let go. Not by how much they gain, but by how much they give. Not by how they stand out, but by how they remain calm without retreat. The Buddha taught, to know your past life, look at your present life. To know where your future leads, look at what you do today. If you still suffer today, do not despair. Blessings may not have arrived yet, but you are already sowing their seeds. If you are at peace today, be grateful. You may have lived with great kindness. Every kind word, every act of meditation, every moment of forgiveness opens another door for light to enter. Each is a seed of blessings sown in this life and the next. Keep your mind pure, your heart bright, your intentions wholesome, and your actions gentle. One day, when you look back, you'll realize you need very little, only to live with kindness, and blessings, like a quiet spring breeze, will come unannounced yet gently. May we all have the good fortune to live lives full of blessings, not only for our own peace, but to spread tranquility to those around us. Homage to the honored teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha. Homage to the honored teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha. Homage to the honored teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha. Have you ever wondered what truly belongs to us? This body is merely temporary. Fame, wealth, love, and hate are like water bubbles, ultimately like clouds drifting across the sky. The Buddha taught that to practice impermanence is to understand the law of arising and ceasing. All conditioned phenomena are impermanent. If they arise, they will cease. If one truly comprehends this, what is there left to cling to? What remains to cause suffering? Today we again have the opportunity to sit together and reflect on a profound truth of human life. Existence is temporary, and everything is impermanent. Born into this world, everyone seeks happiness, yet few escape suffering. We suffer for what is lost, grieve for what is not yet come, entangling ourselves in the invisible cords of attachment. Suffering does not come from life itself, but from our clinging. When we let go of attachment and deeply see impermanence, we can walk lightly on the path to awakening. We cling to money, status, relationships, and reputation. When they vanish, we suffer greatly. But if we understand that all is temporary, coming and going, meeting and parting, our hearts will feel far lighter. Life is but a temporary realm. Do not make yourself suffer. Conditions in the world are as fragile as a passing breeze. When they arrive, cherish them. When they depart, rejoice in letting go. The Buddha taught that all phenomena are void. When conditions arise, they form. When they cease, they dissolve. Attachment brings only suffering. Letting go brings liberation. In love, suffering does not stem from being betrayed by another, but from our inability to release. If we forever hold on to the past, we imprison ourselves in suffering. When the heart lets go, peace arises. People often think that accepting impermanence is giving up or becoming indifferent to life, but that is not so. Accepting impermanence teaches us to cherish even more what we have. If we know a flower will wither, we will cherish it more while it blooms. If we understand that loved ones will one day depart, we will spend more time loving them so as not to regret their absence. When the mind abides in the present and we understand that everything changes, we no longer suffer from life's upheavals. Like a lake without waves, like a clear sky, our mind becomes quietly peaceful, free from regrets and worries about impermanence. Impermanence is not something to fear, but the key that opens the door to liberation from suffering. Life is like a dream, the world like a passing breeze, yet people immerse themselves in desire, pursuing what lies beyond their capacity. The poor long for wealth, the wealthy for power, the powerful for immortality, and the wheel of ambition never stops, dragging people into an endless sea of suffering. We mistakenly believe that once we achieve what we desire, happiness will automatically follow. But have we ever asked ourselves whether we will truly feel satisfied, or will we only crave more? A person seeks a simple shelter. Once they have it, they want a larger home. Once they have that, they want more land and possessions. Greed is bottomless like a deep pit. The more you fill it, the emptier it feels. Only when we know contentment can the mind find peace. True abundance does not lie in external things, but in inner satisfaction and gratitude. One who knows contentment amid poverty is happier than someone wealthy whose heart is never at ease. A simple bowl of rice, eaten with appreciation, is more delicious than fine delicacies eaten with a troubled mind. Only by releasing our ambitions, accepting what we have, and cherishing the present moment can we escape suffering. If we allow our minds to be bound by trivial matters, a careless glance, an unconsidered word, or a small action can toss us into days of anxiety. We easily let ourselves be ensnared by minor things and then torment ourselves. We suffer from others' criticism, feel resentful at injustice, and grieve over losses without realizing that all these things are like clouds drifting across the sky, fleeting, coming, and going. Excessive worry only exhausts us and changes nothing. What matters most is living well in the present, for the future cannot be grasped, yet today passes moment by moment. The future has not yet arrived, but if we live well today, tomorrow will naturally fall into place. Fame and fortune, emotions and attachments, the past and the future are all but echoes within the mind. When we cling to them, we become like a small boat swept away by waves, unable to find a shore. But if we learn to let go, accepting every coming and going as natural, then however grand our life, the mind remains as calm as an autumn lake. Receive conditions with joy when they arise. Let them go gently when they depart. Everything comes and goes according to its own causes and conditions. When those conditions converge, all things harmonize, people meet and blessings appear. When they disperse, everything changes and separation occurs. This is the natural order beyond our control. What you hold in your hands today, your life, your possessions, your relationships, your reputation, are all temporary affinities. They arrive when the causes are ripe and depart when those causes exhaust. If you stubbornly cling and attempt to hold on, you will only carve suffering into your own heart. What was never ours was never ours. What is not ours will never belong to us. People cling to fame and fortune and give rise to craving, competing over wins and losses. When they lose them, they suffer in misery. People cling to emotions and linger in infatuation, unable to let go. Remember that every encounter in this world is like a wave in the vast ocean. Even those who once loved one another may one day part. When the karmic bond is complete, there is meeting. When it dissolves, there is separation. This is how things must be. If we forever mourn someone or a past relationship, we are no different than embracing a withered flower and weeping over it, while outside spring continues to bloom brilliantly. People cling to the past and thus live in endless suffering. But the past is only a shadow in the mind. It is no longer the truth of the present. Even with regret or a wish to reverse time, nothing can change. Like a river that has flowed by, its water cannot return to its source. Let what is past drift away like a cloud, gently fading. People cling to the future and fret in anxiety, yet the future has not yet arrived. Why bind our minds with what has not happened? Like a seed in the earth, if it has sufficient good conditions, it will sprout on its own. Worry and fear will not make it grow faster. They only burden our hearts with more distress. Live fully in the present moment. When conditions arise, receive them with joy and cherish what you have. When they depart, let them go gently, without regret or complaint. Like a flower that blooms in spring and quietly falls in autumn, it neither suffers nor clings. If we learn to let go, our minds will naturally find peace. If we hold no attachments, life will be as light as drifting clouds. Light your own wisdom so that amid this transient world, your mind remains tranquil like an autumn lake, unruffled, unmoved. Pass through gains and losses, unions and separations with equanimity. Understand karma to live peacefully in this life. Nothing happens by chance. Everything we encounter, whether happiness or suffering, has its reasons. The law of cause and effect operates naturally, favoring no one and excluding no one. If we live with kindness and sincerity, we will receive peace. If we live selfishly and harm others, we will face undesirable outcomes. Karma is not meant to punish anyone. It is simply the natural working of life. When faced with difficulties, people tend to complain and blame. But instead of asking, "Why do I suffer?" we should ask ourselves, what have I done to bring about this result? Understanding this lessens our resentment and shows us how to change ourselves to create a better future. A person who lives in anger and envy all their life will only encounter troubles. A person who knows how to love and share will gradually find life lighter. This life is ever-changing. Nothing is permanent. What we have today may be lost tomorrow, but if we understand karma, we will no longer cling or worry excessively. We realize that losing something may simply mean its corresponding condition has ended. Instead of suffering, we learn to accept. When conditions arise, embrace them. When they depart, let them go gently. Living in harmony with cause and effect means knowing how to adjust oneself, living virtuously, being grateful for what one has, and accepting what cannot be changed. When we understand this, we will have fewer troubles and find peace in our own hearts. Letting go lightens the mind. Letting go does not mean losing, it means liberation. Those who do not yet understand the Dharma often think that letting go is surrendering what belongs to them, losing out, or suffering a loss. But in the Buddhist teaching, letting go is not abandoning life itself, but freeing the mind from entanglement. Letting go does not mean being indifferent or cold to life, but living in the world without letting the mind be bound by worries and anxieties. Sentient beings suffer because of attachment to material things, to fame, to relationships, to the past, to the future. These invisible cords bind us. We clutch, we cling, we fear loss. And as each day passes, our hearts grow heavier and more unsettled. The Buddha taught that if we wish to find tranquility, we must first learn to let go. Let go of craving, let go of anger, let go of ignorance, and the mind will be free. When the heart is no longer disturbed by desire, anger, or resentment, it will naturally feel light and calm. To let go, one must first contemplate the nature of all things. Everything in this world arises from causes and conditions, and when those conditions end, everything dissolves accordingly. Nothing truly belongs to us forever, and nothing remains unchanged. Like flowing water, like clouds in the sky, all is temporary, gathering and dispersing. If we understand this, we will not cling stubbornly, nor suffer when something is lost. Contemplating impermanence is also a practice of letting go. Impermanence is the nature of the world. This body is impermanent. These possessions are impermanent, and even our relationships are impermanent. Today we may be wealthy. Tomorrow we may be penniless. Those who love us today may not be beside us tomorrow. If we cannot accept impermanence, we will remain trapped in suffering. But if we understand that everything will eventually change, we will no longer fear or suffer over loss. We often suffer because we always want more than what we have. But when we know contentment, we will no longer chase external things and lose our internal peace. Being satisfied doesn't mean accepting life without striving. It means cherishing what we have and not letting endless desires command our hearts. An important factor in practicing letting go is cultivating a heart of compassion. When our hearts overflow with compassion, we no longer cling to anger or resentment, nor harbor hatred toward those who have hurt us. One who holds on to grudges only binds themselves in suffering. By forgiving, we free not only the other but also ourselves. To love and to forgive lightens our hearts, releasing us from the torment of clinging. Letting go is not achieved overnight, but through steady, daily practice. Each day, we observe our minds to recognize what we are unreasonably holding on to, letting go bit by bit, feeling ever more at ease. Eventually, when the heart is unburdened and unbound, we will realize that peace has always been our true nature. Life itself is but a passing realm, like clouds drifting across the sky, like water flowing through a stream bed. Everything will pass. What we strive to hold tightly today may vanish tomorrow. What we regard as ours is merely a temporary convergence of conditions. If we cling, we suffer. If we release, we find freedom. Only by understanding the impermanent nature of all things can we live lightly, unshackled by needless anxieties. Let your heart remain open, welcoming events like a gentle breeze, joyfully when they arrive, calmly when they depart. Do not let worry or anger obscure the serenity within. May you, after hearing this teaching, find a measure of peace for yourself. Live like a flower in the world, radiating fragrance in silence, unconcerned by passing winds. Do not chase the illusions of fame or the chains of past and future. When the heart is untroubled, when we learn to let go of useless anxieties, then we truly touch genuine happiness. Remember the Buddha's constant teaching: all things are impermanent. A human birth is rare. The true Dharma is hard to hear. To be born human is already a vast blessing. To encounter the Buddha's teaching is an even rarer affinity. Therefore, do not let life slip by in ignorance. Live so that each day is meaningful, that when this life's chapter closes, you have no regrets. I wish you all unwavering peace, calm body and mind, and bright wisdom on your life's journey. Next, please listen to the Confession for Transforming Karma, live virtuously without scheming. It may sound like an elevated philosophy, but in truth, it is a path each of us can choose. Have you ever wondered why some people spend their lives calculating gain and loss, pursuing wealth and status, only to end in hardship? Meanwhile, others live honestly and kindly, without plotting or seizing from others, and yet receive unexpected blessings. Life is not random. Everything has a cause and follows the law of karma. It is not cunning calculation that guarantees success, nor is fierce competition the path to happiness. On the contrary, the more we scheme, the more unsettled our hearts become, clinging to gain and loss, filling ourselves with anxiety. True wisdom is not the art of outwitting others, but the understanding that this life is just one stage in an endless cycle of rebirth. What we do today shapes not only our present, but also our future. There is a story of a wealthy merchant who spent his life meticulously guarding his wealth as if it were his very breath. He never helped anyone, fearing his riches would dwindle. He traded fairly, never taking a loss, yet no one truly respected him. In his old age, he fell ill and lay bedridden. He had money, but no one to care for him. People came only to seek advantage and departed once there was nothing to gain. He realized that he had spent his life calculating every penny, but had forgotten the most important thing: living virtuously so that others love and care for you. In contrast, there was a poor craftsman who earned his living with calloused hands, but always helped others when he could. He was not wealthy in possessions, but was rich in spirit. When he fell ill, the entire village rallied to help. Some brought meals, others contributed money for medicine. He passed away amid the community's sorrow, leaving behind countless blessings for his descendants. Thus we see that the confession to transform karma is not some distant rite, but a change in how we live each day. Every person carries karma from countless past lives, but through cultivation and virtuous living, bad karma can be dissolved and blessings increased. Living virtuously means releasing what is unworthy, not obsessing over gain and loss, and never harming others for personal benefit. One may be neither rich nor powerful, yet if their heart is kind, they naturally earn love and respect. Wherever they go, there are those ready to help. Conversely, one who competes and schemes all their life, no matter how wealthy, remains restless and their life ultimately empty of true meaning. As the saying goes, if one does not trust, heaven arranges for them. When we live in harmony with the natural order and karma, without deception or harm, then, despite trials and difficulties, we ultimately receive goodness. This is not chance, but the universe's fair principle. Therefore, living virtuously is not foolish but the wisest choice. The virtuous need not worry about gains and losses, nor calculate win and loss, for everything is arranged by karma. What we lose today may simply be borrowed from the past. What we gain may be the blessings we have cultivated across many lives. If we understand this, we will cease to resent life's hardships or envy others' ease. Each person has a unique karmic journey, and the only way to change it is through confession, cultivation, and virtuous deeds today. If you still carry many worries and regrets, try letting go once more. Do not keep calculating trivial matters or clinging to undeserved grudges. Life is but a fleeting joy. Each day lived virtuously is a day of accumulated blessings. If you find this message helpful, let us spread its goodness together. Leave a comment with your thoughts, share this video with loved ones, and please subscribe to the Ancient Sages channel to continue exploring life's profound values. Thank you for listening. The method to transform negative karma from the past lies not in magic or mysterious rites, but in each person's shift in awareness and action. Bad karma is not an unchangeable life sentence, but marks left by past deeds, waiting for us to apply wisdom and compassion for transformation. Some, upon hearing of karma's consequences, react with fear, believing their current suffering to be an unalterable fate. But in truth, karma is like a river. It can be harnessed if we know how to guide its flow. One may be born into poverty, but through diligent cultivation of virtue and compassion, will soon see life turn for the better. Conversely, one with a favorable start who carelessly accumulates harmful karma will ultimately endure suffering. To transform bad karma, one must first recognize that karma does not come from anyone else, but is created by ourselves. Once we understand this, we will no longer blame fate or resent life, but instead take active responsibility for changing ourselves. As we change, so does our karma. One of the most important ways to transform bad karma is through sincere remorse. True remorse is more than merely saying, "I'm sorry," or performing a ritual. It is an inner awakening, a heartfelt acknowledgement of our mistakes and a genuine desire to amend them. When we truly repent, our bad karma can lessen, for we stop sowing harmful deeds. Like a wound that only worsens if constantly aggravated, karma heals as we care for it, gradually closing and ceasing to cause pain. Beyond repentance, we must perform wholesome deeds to atone for past wrongs. Someone who has harmed others can gradually dissolve their negative karma by choosing today to love and help people. Doing good does not require grand gestures. A smile, a comforting word, or an act of forgiveness can spark positive change. A small lamp can drive away darkness in a room. A kind heart can erase the bad karma of countless lifetimes. Equally vital to transforming bad karma is letting go of resentment. Many suffer not because they are paying karmic debt, but because they cannot release the past. Resentment is like a fire that scorches our souls daily. If we do not extinguish it, we remain tormented. By forgiving, we free both others and ourselves. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, but of vision, knowing that every experience teaches us and helps us grow. Another way to transform bad karma is to cultivate body and mind. When our minds are pure, we are less easily swept away by greed, anger, and delusion, reducing the creation of new negative karma. Meditation, chanting sutras, and listening to wise teachings help stabilize the mind, providing the clarity needed to make right choices. By living mindfully, speaking and acting with awareness, we avoid many unintentional wrongs we once committed. Ultimately, the most powerful way to transform bad karma is to live with compassion. A heart that loves and empathizes will not easily commit harm. What we sow in kindness, we reap in kindness. When we help others, we too will be helped when needed. A person may have erred in the past, but if today they live with genuine compassion, their future will be completely transformed. Karma is not fixed. It is merely the result of our actions. If we change our behavior and our thoughts, the outcomes will change as well. Nothing in life is set in stone. Each day offers an opportunity to build a better future. Rather than fearing bad karma, learn to transform it through love, tolerance, and good deeds. When our minds are clear, life's path naturally opens. When we live with sincerity, karma smiles upon us. When we love ourselves and others, we can create a brighter tomorrow regardless of our past. To live virtuously is not only a principle, but a key that opens the door to inner peace and joy. A virtuous person is not necessarily the wealthiest, most powerful, or most talented, but someone who lives with integrity, honesty, and genuine care for others. Virtue not only spares us life's regrets, but generates a positive energy that radiates to all around us. A person of true virtue carries a mind as light as the sky, unburdened by greed, anger, or ignorance. Many chase fame and wealth their entire lives, only to discover in the end that they have achieved nothing but loneliness and unrest. Material assets can accumulate, but virtue is what sustains a person through life's storms. One may be rich yet ruined by a lack of virtue. Conversely, someone of strong moral character remains serene and at ease, regardless of circumstances. A virtuous person maintains uprightness. They do not harm others for personal gain, nor trade their integrity for a small benefit. This moral steadfastness wins respect and, most importantly, inner tranquility. When one lives without deceit and need not fear the consequences of wrongdoing, the heart naturally becomes light and peaceful. To practice virtue is also to be kind and forgiving. Everyone experiences hurt, but the virtuous bear no grudges. They forgive and release what is not worth holding. They understand that harboring hatred only deepens their own suffering. By living with tolerance, they free both others and themselves from unseen burdens. Another hallmark of virtue is keeping one's promises. Their words may not be elaborate, but they are sincere and dependable. In a society where many break their word for personal advantage, a virtuous person stands out like a lamp in the dark. They honor their commitments not out of fear of displeasing others, but because they understand that keeping one's word preserves one's own dignity. The virtuous need not worry about gossip or rivalry. They do not compete or envy. They know each has their own path, and that nothing can be taken from another if it is not rightfully theirs. Unburdened by petty comparisons, they remain content and joyful with what they have. There is a saying, one may lose everything, but with virtue, they can regain it all. This rings true. Virtue builds trust in others. A person may acquire wealth through cunning, but without virtue, that wealth will eventually vanish. Conversely, one of virtue, even if reduced to nothing, can rise again from scratch, for there will always be those ready to help. A virtuous person is also grateful. They never forget the kindness shown to them. They cherish every small blessing, whether a meal, an encouraging word, or assistance in a time of need. Gratitude helps them always see life as precious, cherish the present, and never sink into resentment or useless regret. Above all, to be virtuous is to give freely. They do not calculate when helping others, nor do they expect anything in return. They help not for praise, but from a genuine desire to share, and it is this giving that brings them even greater blessings. A selfish person may acquire many things, but they will never know true affection. In contrast, someone who lives with sincerity, though not wealthy, always has precious relationships by their side. The virtuous do not fear loss, for they understand that possessions may vanish, but the good they have done endures forever. When they depart, their legacy is not vast wealth, but the character and lessons they leave behind in others' hearts. Living virtuously is the sweetest way to live, because honesty frees the mind from worry, regret, and fear. When we learn to let go of the unworthy, live sincerely, help without expectation, forgive, and give thanks, our hearts naturally find peace. This life is brief, but what we leave behind can be eternal. A person may not be remembered for their wealth, but they will be cherished forever for what they have done for others. So live in such a way that, when you look back, you have no regrets. Live so that, when you close your eyes, your heart is at peace, and live so that, wherever you go, you carry tranquility within your soul. Everything in life has a cause. Nothing is accidental. Every meeting, every joy, every sorrow, every challenge is a link in the infinite chain of causes and conditions. A flower blooming today is not only because it received a seed today, it is the result of days buried in the earth, drinking sunlight and rain, and weathering storms to rise. Likewise, everything we have and everything we experience, happiness or suffering, originates in the past. The seeds we planted yesterday become either flowers or thorns today. We cannot change that, but by understanding that every outcome has its reason, we cease blaming or lamenting and instead learn to accept and transform so that what is not yet good can become better. Some are born into luxury, others start with nothing. Some life paths are smooth, others fraught with hardship. Rather than envy or curse fate, look deeply at the nature of things. Happiness or suffering is not only the result of our actions, but also an opportunity to learn and grow. Someone who always receives good things may never learn gratitude. Someone who never falters may never grasp the value of rising after a fall. Life's difficulties are not punishments, but lessons we must endure to become stronger. Sometimes what seems unfair is precisely what we need to recognize what truly matters. Some lose everything only to discover that the most precious thing is those who stood by them. Others face illness and suddenly cherish every moment of life. Without those trials, they might never have realized the value of simple blessings. Everything happens for a reason, not to surrender passively to fate, but to remind us that we can change tomorrow by what we do today. If the past has sown seeds of suffering, the present is our chance not to drown in that pain. Instead, let us plant new seeds, the seeds of love, tolerance, and kindness. Someone may treat us harshly not out of malice, but because they too have been hurt. Someone may leave not because they do not care, but because they have lessons of their own to learn. Every person who enters our life carries some meaning, whether as help or harm. No one comes without reason, and no one leaves without leaving a trace. Understanding this frees us from blaming those who hurt us, tormented by the unchangeable, or regretting the past, because everything has its purpose. Some losses are necessary for growth. Some closed doors are not to breed sorrow, but to guide us to more fitting paths. Some pains are not to torture us, but to teach us to cherish pain-free days. Life's connections cannot be predicted, but every encounter and every experience holds meaning. A fleeting meeting can alter one's destiny. A single word can become the catalyst that drives us forward. Nothing is random, only whether we are mindful enough to notice. So rather than ask, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of blaming fate, try shifting your perspective. When something goes awry, it may not be misfortune but an opportunity to grow. When someone departs, it may not be a loss but a reminder to learn to love yourself more. Life is not always easy, but by understanding that everything has a cause, we need no longer live under the weight of why questions. We learn to accept, appreciate, and improve each day. We will no longer fear change, because we know that whatever happens, it carries its own meaning. Everything that happens in life has a cause, and when we understand this, we no longer live in fear, no longer blame or cling to what is past. We learn to let go of what no longer serves us, to be grateful for what comes and goes, and above all, to live fully and at ease. Simple acts that bring great blessings. Life is like a river endlessly flowing. We pass through busy days filled with worries and sometimes forget that true happiness lies not in grand gestures, but in the small things we do each day. Blessings are not distant or unattainable. They do not come only from monumental deeds or grand meritorious acts. Sometimes a kind word, a compassionate glance, or a simple gesture can sow a seed of blessing. Like a drop of water falling into a pond, it ripples outward in waves of goodness that will one day return to us. When we help someone in even a small way, letting a hurried person go first, helping an elderly person across the street, or simply offering a smile to someone who seems weary, we have given away a part of our own blessings. Not because we seek anything in return, but because the world needs more acts of kindness. Sometimes blessings come from simply listening to someone who needs to share their heart amid life's chaos. So many people feel alone, carrying burdens they cannot unburden to anyone. Being fully present without judgment or hurry is itself a profound help. We may not change their entire life, but a moment of understanding can warm a cold soul. Blessings also arise from gratitude. When we appreciate what we have, we not only enrich our own hearts, but send positive energy to those around us. Being thankful for our parents, for those who love and help us, even for life's imperfect moments. That is how we live each moment fully and plant seeds of joy. Sometimes a single small act can change someone's life. A warm meal for the hungry, timely encouragement for a struggling child, or a few uplifting words for someone weary of school. These seemingly minor deeds carry immense power. No one can know how far a kind act will travel, but it will never be lost. Doing good does not require grand gestures. Simply maintaining a sincere heart and a compassionate spirit is precious. When we have the chance to help, let us do so wholeheartedly. When we can forgive, let us forgive sincerely. When we can love, let us love without expecting anything in return. Blessings are not measured by wealth or status. Some wealthy people live in unrest, while those who possess little may live with light ease, because blessings lie not in what we own, but in how we treat the world. When we plant a tree, even from a tiny seed, one day it will grow tall and offer shade. When we perform a good deed, even the simplest, It quietly blossoms and brings forth goodness. This is the law of cause and effect. What we sow, we shall one day reap. Some spend their entire lives seeking blessings without realizing that they already dwell in the ordinary things. Each day, a gentle gesture toward loved ones, a bit of patience in conflict, a touch of generosity when someone errs. All these are blessings in themselves. Do not wait until you have great wealth to do good. Do not wait for high status to think of helping others. Blessings do not require conditions to be given. As long as we live kindly, whether through a small act, a good thought, or a compassionate heart, we make the world more beautiful. When doing good, do it wholeheartedly. Do not do it in hopes of reward, for in seeking reward, we lose the true meaning of virtue. Do it because we know it is right, because a kind heart never keeps score. Life is impermanent. No one knows what tomorrow holds, but one thing is certain. What we give will return to us in one way or another. A person who lives honestly is not motivated by fear of karma, but understands that virtue itself is the greatest reward for the heart. Therefore, however difficult life may be, however many storms we face, never forget to keep a kind heart. Never forget that the greatest goodness often comes from the simple deeds we perform each day. Each person is born with their own journey. Some are blessed with ease, others struggle. Some days the mind is calm like still water, and others it is battered by waves of worry. We blame fate, circumstances, others, but then forget that our own mind shapes everything. A peaceful mind does not come from the world around us, but from how we relate to our own selves. When the mind is calm, life feels gentle. When the mind is restless, even under blue skies and white clouds we feel confined and troubled. Thus, if we wish to change our destiny, we must first change our own mind. Sometimes life throws us in a hardship that seems unfair, but pause for a moment to observe and accept things as they are. When someone can receive all events with equanimity, they have already crossed half the distance toward inner peace. Nothing is permanent. What pains us today may become gentle tomorrow like a passing breeze. One of the simplest yet most powerful methods to purify the mind is letting go. Letting go does not mean avoidance or giving up, but releasing anger, resentment, and needless worries. We carry old wounds in our hearts, yet ask ourselves, does holding them make us happier? When we learn to let go, the heart becomes lighter. When the heart lightens, destiny begins to transform. One who lives in bitterness is trapped by negativity, but one who forgives, accepts, and allows things to pass like a breeze finds deepening peace each day. A mind still as water sees clearly. Stirred water cannot reveal what lies beneath, but once it settles, everything becomes visible. So too with our mind. When too agitated, we cannot perceive life as it truly is. But when we calm our hearts, all becomes clear. To still the mind, learn to live slowly. Life is not a race. There is no need to chase after glittering illusions or overload ourselves. Sometimes a single moment of stillness, listening to the wind, watching a falling leaf, taking a deep breath, is enough to soothe the soul. Contentment is also a path to inner peace. People suffer because they never feel enough. They chase wealth and fame endlessly without realizing that the more they strive, the more they suffer. One who cherishes what they have, little or much, finds joy. When joy fills the heart, destiny naturally brightens. Another way to change destiny is to live virtuously. When we live well, help others, and sow seeds of love, goodness will return to us. Perhaps not immediately, perhaps after some time, but karma never errs. One who lives with sincerity is known by heaven and earth. Our words shape our destiny. Every word we speak carries energy. When we speak words of love and encouragement, our hearts warm. When we utter harsh words in anger, negative emotions take hold of us. Therefore, if we desire a peaceful life, let us begin with kind words. Meditation is also a powerful method to purify the mind. Sit quietly, close your eyes, let go of thoughts, focus on the breath, without dwelling on the past or fearing the future, only the present moment. When we truly inhabit this moment, the mind is no longer carried away by needless concerns. A person can change their destiny not through external means, but from within themselves. When the mind is strong, no storm can shake them. When the heart is at ease, no circumstance can steal their joy. No one can avoid moments of fatigue. No one can be perpetually strong. But the key is to learn not to let the mind be swept away by life's troubles. Remember, we cannot change the world, but we can change how we perceive it. If you feel resonance in these words, please leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to continue this journey toward wisdom and inner peace. Every interaction you make encourages us to bring more meaningful content. Share this video with loved ones. Sometimes a single word can change someone's life. Wishing you always peace and clarity on your path.